we've assumed here a $600,000 balance in their superannuation fund. So that's the only difference here. Now we've assumed $58,000 income requirement, a $600,000 in the super fund, and let's look at how that works. Now, in this scenario, we've still used the same rate of return, so very conservative investment portfolio. And here we've started with $600,000 of assets at retirement, but because we need $58,000, drawing that amount, so drawing $58,000 from your super fund will mean that the age pension amount will reduce a little bit. So you wouldn't get the full age pension in this scenario based on both the assets test. It'll probably be just the assets test, not the income test, because your assets are over that $280,000 that Centrelink allow. Now, what happens here is the $600,000 reduces over time to the point that when Joe and Mary turn 88, that's when their income requirement is not being met. Now, when you're 88, and a lot of people actually say and communicate this to me, that when you're 88, your expenses might reduce from $58,000 because you might not be doing that annual overseas trip. You might not be eating out as much. Your overall expenses might be reducing. Now, and that's fair enough, but there is an increasing concern around funding aged care. And so that's another factor that you need to consider. You could potentially sell the family home to fund that though, so there is ways around that. So if you're looking at their particular scenario, and often it's floated around the industry at the moment that $500,000 to $600,000 in superannuation assets is broad figure that will enable you to provide for that $58,000 from 65 years of age. But if this isn't you, I wouldn't get really concerned about it. If you've not got the $600,000 in your super fund, doing simple things like potentially working a couple of days a week has a significant impact on that, on your scenario. So you might work a little bit longer past your retirement age. It actually has positive impacts, as I talked before about that portfolio lifestyle. It has really positive impacts from an engagement perspective, and that then has flow-on effects for physical health, mental health, etc., etc. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to maintain engagement in the paid employment if you're not got assets at that sort of level, but there are not just financial benefits but other benefits as well.